Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with TechBud Solutions. I hope that you guys are all having an amazing Sunday. If this is the first time that you are tuning in, what's going on, guys? Let me go ahead and start sharing my screen so you guys can see exactly what it is that I am looking at. For those that are not familiar with kind of like how we do things here, our Sunday stock talks are designed where we come together as a team and we simply talk about the top stocks that you see value in. The only thing that I ask you, when it comes down to, breaking down the stocks that you guys are requesting is to put it in the ticker call out format. So I just want to make sure, again, our whole focus within TechBud Solutions and Learn Plan Profit is to make sure that you do your own due diligence, meaning that you've dedicated time to perform your own technical analysis before asking for my opinion, right? I want you guys to know at the very end of the day, it is simply my opinion. There's nothing wrong with getting other people's insight based off of, certain stocks that you see value in, but I simply want to remind you that one of the most important things is, you should never trade based off other people's opinion at the very end of the day, right? So if you don't understand why something is a good deal, why you should buy somewhere, why you should sell it somewhere, or why, you should even take that position, altogether, at the end of the day, it's better probably not to take part of that position because you just simply don't understand the risk. So let's go ahead and I'm going to say what's up to everybody that's tuning in right now. Let me go ahead and minimize this screen right now. So I want to make sure that for all those that always ask, this platform that I'm using is the TD Ameritrade Think or Swim platform. It's the platform that I use. Is it the only platform available? Heck no. There's so many amazing platforms out there. We're all wired in different ways, meaning that we all see value in different ways. And I would encourage you to explore all options, to learn about them, and see, at the very end of the day, based off of what you learn, to see which one's the best fit for you. Don't take anybody's insight on what's the best for you. This is the one that I use. Do I think it's the best for everybody? Absolutely not. And it's not available for everybody outside of the US. I think, Canada can use it. But other than that, I think that if you're like in Europe and stuff like that, this is not an available platform. So congrats on the new car. I appreciate that, Mike. So how are you guys doing this Sunday? So before we get started, just wanted to get some insight. What'd you guys do this weekend? What's going on, Jeff? What's up? What's up? We got Drakstar from Michigan. I like that. Nice, nice. Pool party. Okay, that's always good. Work. I like that. Louis, staying busy. Drink, baby. Okay, sounds good. Oh, here we go. Studying for the boys. I like it. Let's see. Pool party. Wow, we got some party people here. Niagara Falls. I like that. Binge watching Learn Plan Profit. I like that. Catching up, right? Here you go. Studied statistics. Hey, that's good. Portugal, Europe. Whoa, that's pretty crazy. Here we go. The things are going a little bit too quick, so sorry if I don't read your message. There we go. All right. Bitcoin, signed up for Learn Plan Profit, excited to be here. What's going on, Zach? Nice, nice, nice. I'm really excited. We had a couple people that signed up over the weekend. I wanted to welcome you and remind you that our live trading session for the Learn Plan Profit team starts at market open. So wherever it is that you are, whenever the market opens, Pacific Standard Time, that's 6:30 a.m. Make sure that you're connected. Just for those that are not familiar with the, once you enroll in Learn Plan Profit, you're going to get access to this private group chat. And under the morning chat library, this is where I post the links every morning. So I just want to make sure that you understand that and get prepared for that. While I'm on that, one of the links down in the description, if it doesn't show up, please just refresh your page. And the first link is for our free live trading session. That's going to take you to this page. And all I want to remind you is if you're not part of a Learn Plan Profit already, once a month, it's absolutely for free. And just to be completely honest, this is for us to be able to send you the private link for when I do trade live. So the free live trading session, if you've ever wanted to get a taste live of what it's like to watch me trade in the stock market, buying, selling, sharing my thought process, that's all it is, right? You guys can click here. You guys can enter your name, your email, and then click the blue button so we can connect with you on Messenger, just so we have two forms of communication or contact with you. If you don't want, to watch the live trading session, again, I might post it in the Discord for TechBud Solutions. At the very end of the day, this is just for on our end to have a way for us to send you the link directly. If you don't want us to, have your Facebook, I totally understand your, whatever it is that you guys want to do. But I just want to make sure that you guys know that our free live trading session is this Friday, June 28th. So I'd love to, have you guys join, get a taste of what the Learn Plan Profit team gets to experience. And it's always a fun time. It's nothing crazy. If you guys have watched me for some time, I've shared, on a monthly basis, my live trading sessions. I think it's pretty much just, it's not just about the trading, but it's the environment that we like to encourage people within our group. And we try to make it as fun and as enjoyable as possible. So we'll probably be playing some music, having some fun, and hopefully trading some good stocks. So, and then the last thing that I wanted to introduce you, I'll explain a little bit more about it at the very end of this Sunday stock talk, but it's going to be that second link in the description. That's the crash course. So if you're someone that's absolutely new to trading, so not if you're part of Learn Plan Profit, it's people that are absolutely new to trading and you really just want to get your feet wet, we created a little mini crash course. I believe it's $7. It's a one-time fee, and it's literally just to give you a taste and just to get you started. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later, but just wanted to let you guys know what that second link in the description was. You guys don't have to take a part of it, and if you're already in Learn Plan Profit, it's not going to be of value. Again, the whole purpose of the crash course is just to kind of one of the most difficult parts when it comes down to getting started is that sole idea of just learning the very basics. And that's exactly what that crash course is designed for, and getting you ready, whenever you're ready to take action for, that Learn Plan Profit team. It can kind of get you warmed up to kind of getting a better understanding of what to expect and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and get started. So I hope that I earned your thumbs up. Hope you guys are subscribed. If you guys are not, just be sure to turn on those little post notifications to get alerted when we do go live. So let's go ahead and empty out this list on the left hand side. And I'm excited to break down a couple of the stocks with you guys and have some fun. And hopefully we have a better week than last week. Last week was kind of a slow week for me. It wasn't anything special. I just think because we were doing so well the 2 weeks before. So I hope, again, just have a very smooth week of trading. I had an absolute blast on Friday trading with you guys. And yeah, let's go ahead and go from there. So Kyle Daughtry, new Learn Plan Profit videos. No, the crash course has nothing to do with the update or anything like that for Learn Plan Profit. So didn't you make 20K last week? No, that was the week before. I made 18,300, something like that. And then the week before that, I made nearly $20,000. Last week, I would say I took a loss on Thursday. I would say I was probably around. It was not a crazy week. Probably anywhere. I'll have to double check, like 5 to 7K. I'm not complaining. Still an amazing week, but just compared to the other weeks, a little bit slower. And again, for those that don't know, watch any of my videos. I share, and I recap my trades, show my P&L. If I took a profit, took a loss, I'm trading with $100,000. And yeah, so 7,000 correlates to 7%. One of the biggest focuses that we have within our YouTube channel and overall communities is consistency. So consistently growing our accounts, regardless if we have huge weeks, small days, huge days, it really doesn't matter. As long as you're learning, always getting better, and consistently growing your account, in my head, right, and in my eyes, that's really what matters. So it's my B-Day. What's going on, Trevor Sims? Huge shout out to you. Happy birthday. Paper trading 100%. Yeah, Brock, I think that's one of the best ways on how to get started, practicing everything that you learn with paper trading. And whenever you're ready, then you can make that fluid transition with real money. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start off with Frank here calling out. Let's see if we can get this one. So it's kind of a long ticker. Not liking it. Yeah, so this one has really low volume, probably not something that I would trade. I can see on the technical side based off of previous patterns, right? So I can see why. I can definitely see why. I think we could all agree that based off of previous lows and where it's bounced at before, it makes sense on why BELFB can be somewhat viewed as, in that good deal range. One of the biggest focuses that we like to have is confirmation. Right now, this thing is not indicating any signs of an uptrend. And, until then, this thing is still something that can potentially continue to sell off. One of the things that I want to remind you is that patterns tend to repeat themselves. Keyword tends to, right? but they don't have to. So at the very end of the day, if you want to grow your account and want to be an effective and efficient trader, it's probably best to take action when it's actively uptrending up. And we're not seeing that right now. So it looks like on Friday, had a strong push up, but then pulled back right away. One of the biggest things that I like to focus on is confirmation, right? So continually making higher highs, kind of like it was doing here, right? So if this thing is continuously pushing up, there's an obvious indication of an uptrend, and it's much easier to grow your account when the overall direction is in your favor. So I would simply set my alert when this thing begins to make higher highs, and then follow up with it moving forward. But the thing that I do want to point out is I would not personally trade this myself. The volume is way too low, especially with the dollar amount that I'm trading. It's just not something that I find to be, every investment, every trade has to meet some criteria. If you're taking positions, if you're taking investment opportunities, or you're trading based off of no criteria and you're just throwing your money at everything, I think it's just going to be a little bit more difficult for you to be able to consistently grow your account. That's just based off my experience. You want to be selective. You want to make sure that it meets your criteria. So again, that's just maybe something to kind of have a better understanding of. So here we go. So we got Kenneth with Tesla. Alrighty. All right, here we go. So Tesla, yeah. So we've talked about Tesla before on the 180-day chart. This was just my opinion, right? But on the 180-day analysis, we could see that something was continuously showing signs of a consistent downtrend. And usually when it would approach the SMA line, which is this green line, which is the simple moving average, you would have a better understanding that this would be somewhat of a resistance. So because of that, you could see that the SMA line, this is normally where it gets rejected. Last week, we did push above the SMA line, and right now it's kind of like at that critical point. We don't know if the SMA line is now going to act as a support, or we don't know if it's going to continue with its previous pattern and direction and then continue to sell off. So your guess is as good as mine, right, when it comes down to this. And at the very end of the day, when it comes down to successfully, trade in the stock market, you want to make sure that you're not just guesstimating, that you have some form of confirmation. And I think if we simply give this more time to identify its direction, then we can have a better understanding of its direction. So we got Brock suggesting people to do something. So I'm going to hide this user. At the very end of the day, again, if you have people telling you what to do, I just want to remind you that, again, you worked really hard for your money, and you should never trade based off of other people's suggestions. There's nothing wrong with hearing people out based off of what they might see value in. But please, 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 based off my experience, and you can ask anybody else, based off of my experience, it's best to not take advantage of any opportunity that you don't understand. Because if you don't understand something, the calculated risk just isn't there. And if you make a mistake or you end up coming out on top and actually making a profit, you just do not know what you did right or what you did wrong, and you can't really learn from it. And at the very end of the day, when you're first getting started, it's about learning to trade, not trading to profit. So let's just make sure that our mindset, again, aligns with our overall end goal. So here we go. We're going to move on to the next one. So again, I'm not too sure which way Tesla is going to be going. I would like to say that this thing's at kind of a critical point where it might continue to sell off. It might bounce at the SMA line. We just need to give it a little bit more time to identify its direction. So I'm going to go ahead and just simply add my alerts and then go from there. So we got Matthew calling out PAYS. Appreciate you, Matthew, for tuning in. Here we go. So can I have your guys' help on this one? So for PAYS, right? PAYS, can I get your guys' insight? There's three things that I like to focus on. This is my, in a sense, criteria. This is my opinion, and it works well for me. It doesn't mean that it has to work well for you. Three things that I like to focus on. Confirmation, the margin of profit to be worth it, and that the overall direction is in our favor. So obviously, focusing on a good deal. What do you think? And again, I want you guys, this is the time where you can say what it is that you think about this. On the 180-day chart, if we're focused, if we're all deal hunters, right? When it comes down to investing in real estate, are you going to buy something that's not a good deal? If your intention is to buy and sell something for a profit, are you going to buy something that's not a good deal? So, this can look super confusing. Don't make it complicated. Look at previous price points, because that's all this really is. Based off previous price points, looking at where it's at, is this a good deal for PAYS? Does it mean that it can't continue to go up? No, it doesn't mean that. It just means that it's not a good deal, right? A lot of you guys are saying that it's overbought, overextended. Based off of previous patterns, it might be forming a double top. Yes, it can continue to make higher highs, but at the very end of the day, it doesn't matter what it can do. It matters like what's most likely bound to happen. Are you doing your part as a trader, as an investor, to get the best deal possible? And is buying at $12.73 that best deal? So look at previous price points. And in the past months, it's been to lows of $9.35 and it's been to highs of $13.63. So just ask yourself, is this something that I think that I can sell for a profit? If it is, formulate a plan. In my opinion, I think that this thing is a little bit more on the overbought side than oversold. And yes, although the direction is in its favor, so the EMA line is pointing up, it's showing signs of an uptrend, the RSI and the MACD just are a little bit too much on the overextended side that I would simply, hold back. So with that being said, I think that this is great. What's one thing about PAYS? So a lot of you guys were saying, no, it's overbought, it's overextended, not a good deal. What's one thing about PAYS that is attractive? What about PAYS is very attractive? When it comes down to this 180-day chart, what's attractive that I think a lot of people should pay attention to? Direction and consistent, right? It's very consistent. It's continuously making higher highs, and the overall direction, the SMA line, is pointing up. The SMA line is a great indication to have a better understanding long term, right? Regardless if you have it with a length of 180 or 200 SMA, it can give you a better understanding of its overall direction, not just on the day, but overall direction. EMA line is great for more, in a sense, relevant kind of direction with the past, number of days, but the SMA line moves a little bit slower. So the SMA line, again, the overall direction is in our favor. Looking a little bit closer on the 1 day, 1 minute chart, volume is a little low, nothing crazy, right? But it definitely is a little low. So on the 20 day, 1 hour chart, it looks like the SMA line has been trying to act as a support. So let's just do our part as people that are good deal hunters. Let's keep it at that, that we set our alerts that when this thing approaches the SMA line, that we just get alerted. And when we get alerted, we can then just watch it and see if it makes sense to buy and if it consolidates and then reverses. It's kind of like it did last time, right? It sells off. Does it mean when it's at the SMA line that it's the best time to buy? No, because we don't know if it's going to continue to sell off. So what can we do? One of the most difficult parts when it comes down to trading or investing are the very simple things. And it really just means giving it more time and being patient. Wait for that confirmation. Wait for that bounce. Wait for the higher highs. Wait for the overall direction to be in your favor. You want to take part of a position, in my opinion, right? The trades that I've seen to be the most enjoyable are when I wait and I wait for a consistent uptrend and that the overall direction is in my favor. So I'm taking part of a position when the action is happening. I'm not trying to buy the dip and hoping that it pushes up, because most of the time, like we know, it doesn't push up or bounce exactly when we think it will. So what can we do? We can wait for confirmation and wait for when that action is happening. So if the overall direction is in our favor, the margin of profit is worth it, and we see that the opportunity cost is there, then great. So let's go ahead and go from there. So yeah, people promoting their channels. Come on, guys. PAYS. So yeah, that's going to be the breakdown for this one on the 180-day chart. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and go to PLUG. Alrighty. So what do you guys think about this one? PLUG. 180-day chart, right? So I'm going to do a quick little analysis. Huh? What do you guys think? $180-day chart. I'm waiting for you guys to give me some input. What do you see here? So it was showing signs of an uptrend, right? It was making higher highs, right? The SMA line was pointing up. And then what began to happen? Consolidation, right? No confirmation or no more higher highs. We could see that now for the past couple of months, right? At least 3 months, it's been trading between $2.20 to $2.60. One of the first things that I want to share about PLUG is that these are too low of a cap stock for me to actually trade. I would not trade this. I'm just breaking this one down based off of the call out. But I would set my alert. First of all, patterns tend to repeat themselves. They don't have to. So based off previous patterns, it bounced at 220. And that's great. We've identified that. and it's been consolidating here. So yeah, it does have potential to bounce here, but because it's been consolidating for some time, usually what happens is this is usually when it peaks out, and then once it breaks the support, it can then begin to sell off. So that's all I want to remind you of. Right now, I would set my alert there, wait for higher highs, and again, based off previous patterns, there's been a common resistance right around 260. Margin isn't horrible, it's actually pretty good, but I want to remind you that this is a stock less than $5. So just as much money as you can make, you could lose. So the margin of profit is decent. It's 9.71%. It's huge, right? That'd be great to be able to, take part of that position, especially look at previous patterns. What did it do last time when it pushed up that you would have to wait for now? Like it looks like a solid setup, but now we have to wait for confirmation, and we also have to take into consideration that, it's a lower cap stock. And in my opinion and in my experience, I would say that, if I were to take a position, which I'm not, I don't trade these lower cap stocks, I would really watch my position size. With this, just because it's a little bit more risky, I would put less on the table, risk less. But yeah, so here we go. Let's go ahead and move on to there we go, PLUG. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. NKE, what is going on, Martin? What's up? All right, here we go. NKE, so this is Nike, right? What do you guys think about this one? We're showing signs of an uptrend. It's been pushing up based off previous patterns. Anytime that it gets close to around that 86.40 to about that $90 price point, all of this at the very end of the day, it's a little bit more on the overextended side, right? So when it comes down to it, this is not the best deal. This is Nike, huge multi-billion-dollar company, and I just don't find this to be the best deal. Also, we can see that based off of its earnings, right? It has an earnings on 6/27, which is really soon, and I just think it's a little bit more on the overbought side. So the overall direction is in our favor. It's been pushing up, right? It's been having a nice little uptrend, and it's a quality company, but just the opportunity cost, right? The margin of profit does not outweigh the margin of loss. And that's what I simply want to remind you that, if it doesn't meet all your criteria and you begin to kind of like justify and sell yourself on some of these trades, it's just, I think you'll be more prone to making these mistakes, right? Or having less successful day trades. But at the end of the day, practice makes perfect. So if you see an opportunity in something, formulate a plan. Don't just think about the offense, think about the defense, manage that risk, and just gain experience. I still think that one of the best ways on how to get started is, to paper trade, to do on-demand trading, test everything that is that you learn, and then refine that, right? Just make sure that these working systems that you come across, that they work well for you. And if they don't, then find a way to make it work for you. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So here we go. So we got ticker symbol RVLV. What's going on, Roberto? There we go. Okay, I'm not going to spend much time on this just because there's not enough data for me to analyze, but yeah, it was showing signs of an uptrend. It broke below the EMA line. I would not trade this just because it wouldn't meet any of my criteria. So yeah, let's go on the 1 day 1 minute chart. The volume isn't bad. Yeah, it's just not something that I would personally want to take a part of. I trade based off of technicals, and it looks like on Friday I had a really red day. At the very end of the day, there's not enough patterns for me to analyze, and the direction looks like it peaked out, and it's now gonna almost begin to show signs of a sell-off. So because of that, I would personally stay away. Let's go ahead and, if you guys can, please do me the biggest favor. Let's try to focus on something that's uptrending. What currently right now is either a really good deal or showing signs of an uptrend. So let's go ahead and go from there. HUN. What is going on, Kevin? Appreciate you tuning in. Alrighty. So, okay, this one's not bad. So this is HUN, right? Overall, 180-day analysis, we can see that it's based off previous patterns or based off previous lows. It's trying to show more signs of an uptrend. Overall, SMA line is not in our favor, right? So what used to act as a support over here can now act as a resistance. So that's something that, I would kind of like keep an eye out for. So we can see here, yeah, it offers about 6%. The RSI and the MACD are definitely not the best as of right now. So I would just, keep an eye on it. I'm not a huge fan of this. Here we go. Again, if you want me to break down the stock that you are calling out, please do me the biggest favor and post it in that ticker call out format. So STL. Here we go. Alrighty, so overall SMA line is acting as a support. Do you guys see this? Where it pushed up, pulled back, consolidated right around this SMA line, and it's trying to indicate signs of an uptrend. So I would almost view this to be somewhat at a critical point. It's not uptrending, it's not downtrending, it's trying to push up, but just as much as it could push up, it could push down. So I'm just gonna set alerts on both the support and the resistance and see which side it ends up choosing. So here we go. Ishmael saying the ticker call out format. What's going on, Donovan? Thank you for the view. Hopefully we earned your thumbs up. Hope you have a good Sunday. Here we go. We got DWT. All right, so DWT is definitely not going to be something that's going to be uptrending, right, long term. But the overall direction has been descending. It pushed up, became overextended, had a very, very aggressive sell-off. And if you guys don't trade DWT or UWT, this is something that, if you focus on /CL, which is the crude oil future, you can have then a better understanding of, kind of where it's trading right now. I actually have /NG on my second screen over here. I've been watching it since the futures market opened at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And right now, crude oil has been trying to push up, which means that the inverse ETF, which is DWT. So how this works is when crude oil pushes up, DWT then pushes down. And the inverse of DWT is, UWT. So that's the inverse. Here we go. So I have my alerts on both sides. As of right now, there's no true direction. Yes, it looks a little bit more on the oversold side because of the aggressive sell-off that it had since last week. You guys could see that last week it just had a very aggressive sell-off. We can try to give it more time to identify its direction. As of right now, it is trying to reverse. It is trying to find a support, but just because it's trying doesn't mean that it will. So again, all the alerts are set. Confirmation is key at the very end of the day. And right now, looking at the overall future, I'll pull it up on this screen, /CL is, if anything, still consolidating. So it's not showing any signs of an uptrend or anything like that. I mean, it's not showing any signs of a sell-off. So if this continues to push up, this means that then DWT will then begin to and continue to sell off. So I just want to make sure that you guys understand that. So I'm going to set my alerts here. I'll be watching this during pre-market hours. And for those that are part of Learn Plan Profit, I'll be posting updates under the Trade Ideas channel. So here we go. Let's go ahead and get some good ones. So we got ticker symbol CM. Alrighty, so again, trying to show signs of an uptrend. RSI, MACD, a little bit more on the overextended side. Yeah, the overall direction isn't something here that I see too much value in. And based off previous patterns and the SMA line, acting as a resistance as we've seen here and then getting rejected, I can definitely see it definitely can push up. The margin of profit, as you guys can see with my little trend line tool, is very small. So it's about 1.2%, and the potential for a sell-off is much greater. So I think the live stream might have gotten cut off. Did it? No? Oh, we're super slow. Okay. All right, here we go. But yeah, so opportunity cost, I just don't see the margin of profit to be worth the potential for loss. So because of that, I would simply hold back. We got Mars Investments. What's going on, my dude? Here we go, AMD. Okay, what do you guys think about AMD? So AMD, 180-day chart. What's going on, Kevin? What's up, what's up? So AMD. What do you guys, we talked about this. If you're part of Learn Plan Profit, we've talked about AMD. It had a huge push up due to news of working with Samsung, right? AMD's Advanced Micro Devices has a partnership with Apple, established another relationship with Samsung. Overall, push drives the price up just due to that partnership. And then what happens, right? Pushes up once that news is relevant. Once it becomes less relevant, right? It then begins to correct itself and all that hype dies out and it pulls back. It's back at the SMA line. The SMA line, based off previous patterns, this is what has acted as a support. Just because it's done it before doesn't mean that it'll do it again. Patterns, I'm going to repeat this time after time, and I know I'm going to annoy you guys, but it's so it sticks. Patterns tend to repeat themselves. It doesn't have to, right? So I'm going to set my alert for the break above $30 and give this a little bit more time to identify maybe its potential support. It's tried to bounce here again and then got rejected. The RSI looks good. The MACD looks good. Now we just need to wait for true confirmation of higher highs. There's always a risk involved, so just make sure that if you do formulate a plan, that it's not just for potential for profit, but that there's some form of risk management in that as well. Here we go. We had a lot of people today sharing their top callouts. So AMD, out of all the callouts so far, has probably been my favorite just because of the potential and its consistency aspect. Ticker GM. All right. I'm going to try to power through these just so I can get through a little bit more, okay? So GM, based off previous patterns, SMA line has acted as a resistance. Looking at the RSI, yeah, it looks like it's been getting rejected. Just keeping it super simple. I'm going to set my alert. This thing looks like it's going to start making lower lows and potentially get rejected, right? So look at previous patterns, and then it pushes up, gets rejected, pushes up, then gets rejected. But just in case it does begin to make higher highs, I'll set my alert on that and then kind of go from there. Here we go. We got AMRN. Alrighty, AMRN, again, a little bit more on the overbought side. Looks like it's pulling back. Not the best deal right now based off previous patterns. Again, understanding overall low points, understanding overall high points. Is this the best deal that you can get right now? No. And why take part of a position right now when you can get potentially down here, and if it finds a support here and then begins to push up just like it's done before, the margin of profit, it's going to be a much more efficient trade. The upside potential is much greater. And again, all you literally have to do is wait, patience, and confirmation, right? And I think it's a very simple things that people tend to overlook. Let's get on Mr. Magic Tricks. Here we go. We have a lot of people sharing their callouts, but not in the ticker callout format. So there we go. ZNGA. What's going on, Benjamin? ZN. What was it? ZN. Oh yeah, GA. All right. I like the consistency aspect on this one. It's approaching the SMA line. It's really consolidating. It's consolidating here more than I think ever done before. So a little sketchy on that one, right? I would kind of like definitely wait for confirmation now because it looks like it might potentially begin to make lower lows, which is something that we've been seeing very often. So just as much as it could go up, it could continue to trend down. So I'm going to set my alert here. It looks like we're right around 605. So let's follow up with it and kind of see where it goes. So it's pulled back quite a bit now. Again, if we think that it can push right back up to 650 and continue to uptrend, great. Margin of profit is decent. The overall pattern and direction has been good. Now we just simply need to wait for confirmation. Here we go. We got DUST. All right, DUST, strong, consistent downtrend. Looks like it's trying to find a bottom. This has to be the inverse ETF of NUGT, right? And it's just, I think it has a lot to do with, if you guys have paid attention to /GC and how it's been pushing up. There's been a lot of just news when it comes down to our overall market, overall economy, right? And just our relationship between all these different countries. Gold is something that has a direct influence of what people think and how our market is doing. So we've seen a really strong push up on gold. And I think when it comes down to it, it's just very important to understand when something is overbought and oversold. We don't know if gold is going to continue to push up, just like the market right now. The market recovered based off previous highs, right? So we're approaching kind of like a resistance based off previous patterns. And gold is doing the same thing. So this is the NASDAQ future, and looking at gold /GC, it's extremely overbought and overextended. And yes, just as much as it could pull back, it can continue to uptrend. One of my biggest mistakes, speaking from experience, is trying to think that, like, for example, thinking that gold, like, hey, it's so overbought, it's bound to pull back, right? So I'm just going to buy the inverse ETF, so I'll buy DUST. That's not how it works. And unfortunately, if the pattern does continue to push up, DUST will then continue to sell off, and then you'll just end up, bag holding. And at the end of the day, you can do one very simple thing to have, an edge on the market, and that's just giving it time to confirm, it's going to pull back. Right? It's bound to happen. All you have to do is simply give it time, right? It's not the amount of trades that you take per day, per week, per month, but it's the quality trades and making sure that you understand these different variables that are going on. So just make sure that you're doing your part as a trader, as an investor, to understand what's going on, and to manage that risk. Let's go ahead. So I can't post in the format. We have everyone else posting it. So here we go. So HUYA. A little bit more on the overbought side, right? Yeah, looks like it might potentially be showing signs of a peak formation, might begin to sell off before it continues to uptrend. I already have my alert up here. I'm going to set my alert if this thing begins to make lower lows. This would not be something that, again, for this upcoming week, that I would see something of huge value. SBUX. We've broken down quite a bit. Oh, we've been live for at least 30 minutes already. Okay, so SBUX. So this is Starbucks. For all my beginners, so can you guys, if you guys have tuned in to the Sunday stock talks for a very long period of time, please do me the biggest favor and just let our beginner traders kind of like test this out, right? So for our beginner traders, this is Starbucks, right? Multi-billion-dollar corporation, right? The little frappuccinos. When it comes down to this specific pattern, is this a good deal? And is this something that you would want to trade right now? Why, if so, or why not? For our beginner traders, please, again, if you guys could just do us the biggest favor, for our beginner traders. Overbought, not a good deal. No, it's oversold. No, it's overbought, right? No, overbought, no. Okay. So what can we do? What can we do as good deal hunters based off previous patterns? What can we do to do our part as traders to take advantage of Starbucks when it's a good deal? Wait, set alerts, too high, wait for a pullback, and wait for confirmation. I like that. So keeping it super simple. Again, it's not about always trading the top trending penny stocks, OTC stocks, momentum stocks, nothing like that. Usually when, and think about this, just think about the psychology behind this. If something were to be an extremely good deal, and when you're within these groups and everyone's like, oh, like you have to take part of this, this is like, you know, going to the moon, just think about yourself. If so many people are aware of a good deal, when has there ever been a time where everyone's aware of something when it's a good deal? That's just not how it works, right? Make sure that when it comes down to your trading and even if this is a long-term investment, that you do your part in making sure that you understand that you're getting the best deal. So just like you guys said, this thing's overbought. It's overextended based off previous patterns. We literally just hit 180-day highs just a couple days ago, right? And looking at where it's at, it looks like it's done a double top right around almost $85. And it looks like it's building a resistance. So what's most likely going to happen? Well, probably what happened before. It reaches a peak formation. It then begins to sell off. So we have to give it time. It then consolidates around the SMA line. It flat lines, 3 stages of a reversal, rejection, consolidation, and then it confirms back that uptrend. So instead of trying to get in now and hoping that it continues to uptrend and hoping, right, we can be patient, wait for a sell-off, wait for it to consolidate, and wait for that confirmation. And maybe when it gets back around $80, then we can sell around 85, which is below its or around its current price point right now. And the margin of profit can definitely be much more worth it, right? It's, again, not about the amount of trades that you take, but it's the quality trades, especially when you're getting started. You don't want to discourage yourself. So a simple question that you might want to ask yourself this week, think about it and write it down. This week, every position that you take moving forward for at least this week, just ask yourself this simple question. Is this trade something that's going to get me to my overall goal? Is this something that's going to build my confidence? Is this something that's actually going to grow my account? Does it meet all my criteria? Is this something that's, again, aligning with my long-term vision? Or is this something that you're trading based off of hype, based off of what someone else told you? Maybe someone else made money trading this, and that's why you want to trade it. The reason that I'm saying this is because I've been there, right? And I think a lot of you guys have been there where just because someone else makes money on something doesn't mean that you will as well. And you just want to make sure that you do your part in making sure that you get the best deal possible to your knowledge, you manage that risk, and that it meets all your criteria. Because at the very end of the day, if you understand what you just did, and even if you make a mistake, you could at least learn from it. So it's a lesson learned. But if you trade something, you have no idea what you did wrong, you paid the price for it, and you don't actually even know what you did. So let's go ahead and just do a couple more, and then we'll close it out there. So Let's see. You need to, all right. Here we go. So we got PRPO. Okay, so PRPO selling off. Looks like it peaked out. This looks like a pump and dump. It's done a reverse stock split 115. I'm not a fan of these. Yeah, this would not be something that I would trade. Had a consistent downtrend. Do you guys see this volume? This is a perfect way on how to identify, you know, when stocks are being manipulated, when there's marketing behind it, when there's all of a sudden huge news, huge demand for something and it just came out of nowhere. Look at all this volume, super low, and it got pumped from time to time, but it was selling off, and then all of a sudden it then begins to continue to get pushed up. Look at the volume. Look at previous volume, and you could see that there's some form of catalyst that's driving the price up. Because of that, if you don't understand what's driving the price up or down or what's causing this fluctuation in price, then again, if you don't understand it, it's probably not in your best interest to take part of that so-called trade, right? This would not be something that I would trade. I would completely stay away from it. Very simple thing that we like to say is if this is not showing any indications of an uptrend, then why would you take part of it? If your purpose is to grow your account, then trade patterns that are showing signs of growth. Think about that. Look at your Robinhood account. If you're trading with Robinhood or if you're trading with any other platform, how does it look when you grow your account? With a starting balance of $1,000 and with an ending balance of $2,000, there's an uptrend, right? That's the direction. So why not take part of patterns that are showing signs of an uptrend? Here we go, ELY. Hopefully this could be a good one, ELY. Let's check it out. Overbought, overextended. So yeah, RSI, yeah, not something that I would want to take part of. I would set my alert for this thing to, again, get a better deal. Looking at the 1 day, 1 minute chart, volume's a little bit too low for me, so it wouldn't meet my criteria there. Here we go. All right, let's see. Mars Investments, appreciate you posting the ticker call out format for others. EIDX. All right, Abraham, let's check this out. EIDX. Okay, what do you guys think about this one? EIDX. What do we think about this? First of all, what's one thing that I don't like? Therapeutics. That's just based off my experience. So first of all, I would not trade this myself, right? That's just, and the volume's a little bit low. But I have to admit, based off of previous patterns and this consistent uptrend, it's been showing signs of a consistent uptrend. Again, patterns tend to repeat themselves. They don't have to. It looks like it's pulling back, right? It's selling off right now. And based off of previous patterns, the SMA line tends to act as a support. The RSI looks good. The MACD looks good. It looks like it, again, it's sold off quite a bit. So the potential for a recovery, if it actually happens, can be big. The upside potential can be big, but so can the downside potential, right? I mean, it can continue to sell off. So let's just not think about the positives. So we can set our alerts and simply wait for confirmation. We can set an alert if it approaches the SMA line and then maybe watch it a little bit closer. This is where you will see what kind of trader you are. Are you someone that's patient or impatient? I think Warren Buffett said it best, where the stock market is the transfer of funds from the impatient to the patient. So think about that. The more patient that you are, the more that this thing can sell off, right? The more margin of profit for recovery if it actually confirms itself. So if you really think that EIDX is going to reverse back up, or whatever stock you're trading, why not just give it then more time? If you're so sure that it's going to push up, why buy right now? And if you're willing to buy right now, then accept not just how much money you can make, but also the risk involved, especially when the overall direction is not in your favor. So I'm going to do one more breakdown, and then we're going to go from there. Let's go ahead and get that in the ticker call out format. All right, here we go. So we got Amazon. All right, I don't like this one. It's overbought, overextended. This is a very similar pattern to /NQ. Again, major market, right? So NASDAQ future. And yeah, it's more to resistance. So I don't like this one. Let's do another one. INTC. Here we go. This would be like a dip buy opportunity. This one's kind of all over the place. Recently just broke above the SMA line. Normally what happens is it takes time for this thing to even continue to push up. So I'm not going to do that one. Free soap. We got Wingstop, right? Wait, what was that? Yeah, Wingstop. Overbought, overextended. Again, not a good deal. Come on, guys. WKHS. No. Randomly started to have demand, right? Looks like it's a pump and dump. So, Hexo. All right, let's check this one out. I'm trying, guys. I don't think I've ever broken down these many stocks during our Sunday stock talk. Continuous downtrend pattern. Just not something that I would see value in right now. Direction is not in our favor. MMD. Let's check this one down. Okay. Consistent uptrend pattern. Volume looks probably a little low. Yeah, very low. Not something that I would trade. I like the pattern. I just don't like the volume. Not something that I would trade. AFMD. What's going on, Greg? SMA line acting as a potential resistance might cause, again, a sell-off. Just not something that, yeah. Nope, nothing there. AKCA. Check this out. Downtrend pattern. Guys, we're all over the place today. We're trying SNX. Yep, it's trying to push up. The RSI doesn't look too good. Up and coming earnings report. I don't like holding during earnings, and the margin of profit does not outweigh the margin of loss, especially with recent patterns. It's below the SMA line. SMA line used to act as a support. We'll most likely see it act as a resistance and see this thing get rejected. So BILI. Appreciate you posting that in the ticker call out format. Here we go. SMA line, yeah, it looks like a lot of these are just at that critical point where we don't know if it's at a resistance or reversing, and the SMA line is now going to act as a support. So I would just have to say we'd have to give it more time. It's too risky as of right now. What do you break down a crypto asset? I don't trade crypto myself. I'm not saying that it's not a good investment. It's not my niche, right? So it's just I don't think would be in my best interest to do that. So BIDU. Here we go. Alrighty, no. Not there. ICSH. Where's it at? Dang, idea. Wow. Yeah, no, I don't like this because also the volume would be very low. Yeah. Not something that I would trade, but I like the consistency aspect with the SMA line acting as a support. It's just volume's very low on this one. Okay, let's see. CSCO. I'm just gonna end it here, guys. Sorry. We're gonna, yeah, overbought, overextended. All right, we have people calling out Gush. Let's do this. Let's see. Yeah, no, this one would also be at a critical point where, it was showing signs of a consistent sell-off. It recently began to uptrend, but the RSI is now a little bit more on the overextended side. So, yeah, I would just say that, this thing, just because of the overall uptrend, just like we've seen before, it tries to push up and then just continues to sell off. So the direction is just not in its favor. So when you say that there's not enough volume, are you what are you looking for? That's a really good question. Askia, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. One of the things that I like to focus on is, and this is preference. So I want to make sure that you understand that. This is based off of preference, and it's making sure that, especially because now I'm trading with a larger dollar amount, that I can get in and get out without there being any issue. And normally with these stocks that don't have enough volume, just think about it when it comes down to supply and demand. If there's more sellers, right, than buyers, then you can drive the price down on yourself. And this is something that you will experience over time. And I still think, again, practice makes perfect. So when you see something, especially with, if you're familiar with like candlestick patterns, where you see the crosses, right, where there's not too much of a, or not even the crosses themselves, but the actual dashes, where there wasn't like a fluctuation of price. There's not enough people trading that specific stock, and at the very end of the day, based off of what I like to focus on. I'm not saying that you can't make money trading those. I'm just saying that if there's not enough focus, right, on this and that specific stock, there's not enough demand and there's not enough attention. And there's probably a reason behind that. So that's why I like to focus on something with a healthy amount of volume, where there's a again, I focus on day trading. This is preference. This is not something that everyone has to do, but I focus on day trading. So I want to make sure that the volatility and all that is there while I'm day trading it. So the direction, the margin of profit, the pattern, and also the volume, making sure that I can get in and get out regardless if I'm there for a profit or for a loss, right? Because if I'm trying to sell but no one else is buying, it's going to be kind of difficult for me to get out of that position. Yeah, I wanted to see if I could answer any open-ended questions before we close out this Sunday stock talk. Something that you can't Google, something that I have not already spoken about within the 1,700 free videos that I have on YouTube. So feel free to ask me. So how's the new Lambo? One of the things, so first of all, I know that we had a couple new subscribers that tuned in. For those that are watching this and might be a little confused, trust me, it takes time to understand everything that we're kind of covering. And one of the things that I want to talk about when it comes down to my purchase of like the Lamborghini Huracan is I hope that you guys, I didn't talk about, or I didn't talk enough in that video, but one of the things that I really like to focus on when it comes down to the cars that I buy. The Lamborghini I bought as something that I plan to resell for a profit. And what I wanted to like empower you guys to do is if you're in a position where you can buy a car, regardless if it's a sports car or not, to do everything in your power, if you have the time for it, to get the best deal in your area. That's something that our Flipping Wheels group is designed for. And at the very end of the day, if you can save some money, if you can minimize the amount of money that you lose on that car where normally people lose money, or you can actually make a profit off of it, then why not, right? You just have to educate yourself a little bit more on what that car is worth in your area, how to negotiate, and how to drive the price down to get it for a good deal to minimize the amount of money that you could either lose or how much money you could actually make on that. So I'm someone that's a huge car guy, right? And I just wanted to find a creative way on how to make money off of it or minimize the amount of money that I lose. So when it comes down to, the series of cars that I show, it's not even about look at my cars or anything like that. In almost every single video that I have, when I showcase my cars of me buying them, I try to remind you that, it's super important to me to try to get the best deal possible. And feel free to do your own research. I would actually encourage you guys, if you guys have time, if you guys are willing to, if you guys are car guys or car girls, right? Just car enthusiasts. I bought a 2015 Lamborghini 610-4, clean title, 2 previous owners. I bought it in Arizona, so I don't have to pay sales tax, right? I just have to do the registration. And I bought it for $180,000, $750. So almost $181,000. It has 8,200. It had 8,100 miles when I bought it. Right now it has almost 8,300. So feel free to do your own research. Search it up on Car Gurus, Cars.com, Craigslist, OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, whatever platforms are out there, and do your own due diligence. Look at the different price ranges. Look at the mileage. Mileage is huge with these higher end cars. And I've been watching these prices for the past 2 years, and I've noticed 2 things. The Lamborghinis have not dropped very much when it comes down to the price. The past 2 years, they've stayed anywhere from around the 180 to 195. And I think, when it came down to buying that specific car, the spec that I got, and then the overall condition and my intention behind it, I know that I have a specific car market here, which I can sell it for a profit. And I think at the end of the day, if people don't understand what you're doing, it doesn't really matter. As long as you're, again, understanding the opportunities that you're taking advantage of. For all those that say cars are not investments, and I agree, in the traditional aspect, they're not viewed as investments, but it doesn't mean that you can't make money off of them. If you do your part, the same thing as a dealership is designed for, to find the best deals in your area and buy low, again, in the very simple aspect, buy low and sell high. It all really comes down to negotiation, understanding what the market value is within your area, and then making sure that you have a specific type of, dedicated car demographic or customer demographic that meets that criteria or meets that specific car, in a sense, demand. So but I know a lot of you guys probably don't care too much about cars, we have a huge focus when it comes down to trading the stock market, but we've had a lot of people asking about that car, why I bought it, how much I bought it for, and I'll be making a video that is probably a little bit more entertaining about that, but just kind of wanted to share my insight with you guys. So wouldn't today's tension between US and Iran help cash? Again, confirmation is key, right? So if you think that there's a direct correlation behind that, feel free to message me on Discord. We can talk a little bit more about it. But let's just make sure that if you do think that there's a correlation, wait for that, news to come out and see if there's a direct impact on Gush or DRIP, which is its inverse ETF. So just make sure that whatever these kind of systems that you're trying to implement into your trading, that they work, right? And that you practice them. So alrighty. So will you be selling that car later, Turo? Any plans? So I wouldn't be Turoing that car. I don't Turo any of my cars anymore. Just due to our following and stuff like that, I just probably wouldn't be the best idea. But yeah, I'll probably keep that car for about 2 to 3 months and then post it for sale. And yeah, that's really just it. You guys know, again, I've wanted to I love cars, so I just wanted to. I've never had a Lamborghini before, so. I thought it was a cool way to test it out, either minimize. I don't know if you guys also saw, I sold, not sold, but the house that I see that tahini back there. Yeah, wait, where is it? I have the big bottle of tahini for those that could see that. Well, if you're Hispanic or Latino, right, you probably know what tahini is, but it tastes great with fruit, but I honestly almost put it on everything. But quick little reminder. That hard money loan that I funded of $195,000, I received the paycheck the same day that I bought the Lamborghini, and I got paid out on it. So I'm going to be making a video breaking down exactly how much I funded, how much money I made, and how much money I made per day, what I learned, and kind of moving on to the next investment when it comes down to the hard money loans. So I think, again, if you guys are just trying to focus when it comes down to trading in the stock market, just like you guys know, our YouTube channel, Learn, Plan, Profit, and TechBud Solutions, we try to talk about any markets that we're actively investing in. So my 3 main markets, this is just based off of what I do, is first is trading in the stock market. That's the core and the foundation of this channel, TechBud Solutions and Learn, Plan, Profit. The second thing is investing in cars. I'm a huge car guy, so I like sharing and talking about what I do, right? So when it comes down to all these cars, we have that flipping wheel group, and feel free to search them on Facebook. If you're part of Facebook, we have a free Facebook group. It's Flipping Wheels. So search it up. Feel free to join and stay connected. And then our last thing is I've dabbled in real estate since I was 20. I bought my first house there, and I've just kind of been sharing my story. I'm not an expert, nothing like that. I've been able to make money off of it, but it's also because of the people that I've been able to surround myself with. So I just give little tips based off my experience when it comes down to, buying these series of properties and what I learned and just sharing that in a video format. Am I a perfect real estate investor? Heck no. Am I a perfect car investor? Heck no. Am I a perfect trader? No. We all make mistakes, but at the very end of the day, I feel like I'm someone that's very consistent. I tend to not give up, right? And I think that's a huge, in a sense, great best practice that I have that I'd love to share with each and every single one of you that see value in it. So congratulations on the Lambo. Appreciate that, man. So the person you're selling your car to asked about the price you bought it at. I'm sure they'll ask, and there's nothing wrong. I mean, at the very end of the day, if I'm doing my part as a person, right, to sell a car for a good deal, but I just got it for a better deal, does it really matter, right? Like, if you're buying something and you know that you're getting a good deal, does it really matter if someone bought it for a lower price? Like, that's the whole point of this business, is to do your part to get the best deal possible, to sell it to someone, to still make it a good deal, to make it, in a sense, attractive. So at the end of the day, it shouldn't matter. And if it bothers them, then that's not the right buyer. But I talk about, I have these videos on YouTube, so it's not very difficult for them to find the blue Lamborghini and tie one on, these two things together. So, do you still have the McLaren? Yeah, there is one car that I sold that a lot of you guys don't even know that I have this car though. I'll be making a video about that later on the TechBud's Garage channel. For those that aren't subscribed already, and I know I've gone on a tangent for quite some time, but on the very right hand side of our main channel is TechBud's Garage. So this is where I'm going to be uploading all the car related content. I'm not going to be uploading very or much like when it comes down to investing in cars, I'm not going to be uploading much of that content on my main channel anymore. So this is where I'm going to be uploading the cars that we're buying with it and breaking them down. Just like I do with my stock breakdowns and stock analysis, this is where I'm going to be uploading in the Tech Butch Garage channel. So if you guys want to subscribe, feel free to do so. If you don't, I totally understand. But this is where all that action is going to be happening. Again, I want to remind you guys that the first link in the description is for our free live trading session. So if you want to save your spot, it's free. If you want to get a taste of what it's like to watch me trade live, that's going to be that first link in the description. If you guys cannot wait until Friday to watch me trade live, I would encourage you that if you guys can message me on Discord, if you're a student, right? If you're someone that recently graduated, if you're an active service member or a veteran, we would love to set you up with a discount for Learn Plan Profit. The Learn Plan Profit link should be the third or fourth link in the description. It says watch me trade live every single day. If you're ready to watch me trade live as soon as tomorrow, we'd love to have you as a part of the team. And again, feel free to check that out. Once you're ready, direct message me on Discord. If you're part of TechBut Solutions, please don't message me on Instagram. Please don't message me on Facebook, message me on Discord, and then let me know whenever you're ready. We'll set you up with a discount and kind of go from there. So again, I really hope that I earned your thumbs up. All the links are down below if you would like to stay connected. Feel free to dedicate some time to learn a little bit more about our community and then see if we can have a positive impact in your lives. So again, guys, I wish you guys an amazing rest of your week. Continue working hard, continue following dreams, let your passion be what drives your success. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.